It's like, oh, you hit start, and shit just goes.
I literally just go from just like that.
No, that's great. That's a great format. It feels
no running, bro.
No, that's great, man. I love it. It's a good format, and I really like all the other guests you've had. It's been
100%.
really nice and informative to listen to.
Yeah, totally appreciate that. I will say one thing though, like adjust this.
Yeah, how do you want this?
About 2 to 3 inches away from your mouth. And another thing, yeah. I was like, I've had a guest do that before.
I know. Is this the same one?
Yeah. Turns out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, exactly. No, that should be a good distance. And then, when you're talking with your hands, just be careful not like smack.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard for me. I do that a lot. Harley, like, she'll grab my hands and be like, now talking. I'm like, I can't.
That's so funny. I haven't met someone yet that hasn't talked with their hands, so
Thank you
don't
from the bottom of my soul. Thank you. I needed that today.
Fuck yeah, dude. Next, start it off.
Fuck yeah, and a cheers.
And a cheers, yeah, with water.
Woo,
Next time it's gotta be booze.
It's the middle of the afternoon anyway. It's all good.
Yeah, I really shouldn't be encouraging drinking during.
Hey, everyone's got their vice. It's how you survive in this day and age right now.
This is true.
Like, fuck sober living, man. It's so hard. Oh my god,
dude. Oh my god. Like, and like that's the thing is, if you have something that you use or that you do on the side that's like just keeping you sane, like.
Yep.
As long as it's not deteriorating your life too much, I get it. Like, I get the stresses of life that you gotta like utilize something that might help you along the way. And I'm for everything that can help people. I don't know if you knew this or know this, but I've given up weed completely.
So I missed my window to get high with you because we talked about it before. That's funny. No, I've actually scaled back a lot of what I was smoking. Yeah, I'm smoking like so much less now on top of that, and I'm not smoking tobacco anymore either. Like all. It's all done.
Oh shit, dude.
Yeah, I'm doing what I can.
Yeah.
I'm almost 40, so I gotta start figuring out some other things, so I'm not leaning on it all the time.
Oh my god! And you still to this day, you don't look 40
no,
to me at all.
I'm very okay with that. But there's been some times actually that's how I left the sports bar I worked at. It's one thing being the oldest guy in the kitchen, but it's a whole nother thing when you're older than the server's parents.
Yeah.
Like one of the girls, I was 37 at the time, and she's like, wait, you're 37? I was like, yeah. She's like, you're older than my dad. And I was like, what? What? I got to sit down. What are you talking about? So yeah, it was, so I was like, okay, I got to make some life decisions to get the fuck out of this place. Like, no.
Oh my God.
No.
Yeah. Having a huge realization of, oh my God, is this for me?
Yeah, right? Like, no. The whole reason I took the job there was to focus on music, right?
Right.
Because I left trades so we could go on tour.
Yeah.
Like that, and absolutely worth it and everything. And the restaurant was great because anytime I needed time off or anything band related, they were like, yeah, do whatever you need to do.
Totally.
But then, yeah, it wasn't for me anymore. COVID happened, and I didn't mean to be there for 3 years. But it's the way shit goes.
I was just going to say that's life. And we're jumping all over the place, but let's give you a little bit of an introduction. We're on an hour at the house, and we have Robbie. I don't want to butcher your last name.
Lesur.
Lesur.
Yeah, it's all good. Like the way I pronounce it or tell people to pronounce it, like Luh, so it's La and then Sir.
Okay,
like,
interesting.
But yeah, I don't know. It's a Dutch name that used to be French. It gets pronounced messed up.
Interesting. Okay. That's the first. I was like French. I'm getting a French vibe.
Yeah.
But Dutch in there too.
Yeah, it's a Dutch heritage on my dad's side of the family.
Cool.
For the last 400 years or something. But anyways, yeah.
Nice. Okay. And like, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about yourself? Obviously, we know each other from past. You can bring that up if you want, but.
We used to be in a band together.
Yeah.
It's no secret. I'm proud of the shit we did in Castles. It was great. It was a wild ride. Hell yeah, man. I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. It was great. But yeah, we know each other through that, and you've drummed on my other bands, or Chronica. You drummed on one of those songs. But yeah, AJ, you and I have known each other for. Fuck, has it been 4 years?
It's been a while.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. But yeah. So yeah, that's how we know each other. You're a great dude. And you asked me to be on here. Absolutely.
Totally.
So now I'm taking digital marketing at the U of A. I've had to, with life and everything going on, and with COVID and stuff, I had to make a shift like so many other people did. I tried to get a jam space open before, but COVID kind of nixed that one. And that's fine.
Right.
Now I'm doing the digital marketing side, and I'm helping musicians and people like yourself that want to start branding and everything like that to come up with strategies. And
totally. And I can't wait to dive a little more into that with
Yeah,
you
absolutely,
after this podcast. Maybe even during it. Let's go. But
yeah, sure.
yeah. So, what made you dive into that avenue? Like what? So the studio thing didn't work out. For those that don't know, Robbie wanted to pursue. You wanted to go into.
Yeah, so it was a jamming and network space. So you could come in, jam, and then I had this idea of there'd be a storefront for bands that use the space. You could sell your merch out of that space.
Right.
So it's another avenue streaming of not just an online store or not just at shows. You guys would have a physical storefront where everyone could sell their merch and things like that.
That was a great idea.
Yeah, and then like a wall of band style posters, but it was for every business attached to the music scene. So t-shirt manufacturers, producers, artists, photographers, like everyone attached to it, because there's so many businesses attached to music. It's not just the guys on stage, it's everything else, right? And I wanted to have a good network space, but COVID made investors a little shaky, obviously. When band spaces were closing down, they backed out, and it was like, I totally understand, it sucks, but I get it. And my whole thing is I like seeing people succeed in their passions. So that's why I wanted to get into marketing, because I've known for a long time I'd be a phenomenal marketer, like working in some New York firm or something like that. But I really like musicians in the industry, so I want to help musicians thrive any way they can.
Right.
So that's why I went into marketing, and it's been really good. I've helped quite a few people now, so
Nice.
it's been really good.
Nice. That's awesome.
I like it.
And I mean, you just started, like, you're what, about halfway through your course now?
Yeah, I'm about halfway through it now.
Okay.
And I had a meeting with one of my professors at the U of A, and I said, look, like, I'm already getting asked, at what point should I start charging? Like, I'm not done school yet, but so he's like, charge as soon as possible. He's like, if you're already at that point business-wise, just get going while you're finishing up the course. I was like, oh, okay, sure.
Totally. And can you explain to some people here who might be listening that's interested in it, what exactly it would be that you would do to help somebody, I guess, get further along in their social media?
Oh, okay. So I don't see it as I don't take over your social media, because that's your job. That's your animal to do. I got my own shit to run.
Yeah, totally.
I'm a good strategist. So I'll sit down with you, help you come up with a stream of videos that you can work on, like kind of like a make work project of like a wheel of videos that you can make at home with everything that you're doing. Whereas for you specifically, like your drum videos that you used to do, you could start doing them with other guitarists on TikTok. You could stitch those videos with people that are making guitar riffs, and then you're coming up with bang out songs and things like that. So there's lots of things you can do in different micro content and things you can make. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm curious and trying my attempt at that, because a few podcasts ago I've kind of dived into it a little bit about the whole like TikTok thing, and I'm kind of unsure of it. And it's funny enough, I bring you on, and here you are. I feel like Robbie's the fucking executive for TikTok.
Oh, not quite. That's just I've done A and B testing where I post the exact same video to TikTok and I post the exact same video on Instagram Reels, and TikTok, you just get more views, you get more traction, more people look at it. And like Instagram Reels and Facebook, that's great to go to your existing audience, and you might find a few more people, but in TikTok, your audience finds you. It's the other way around, right? So, and with trillions and trillions of videos, it's gnarly. Just every TikTok feed is unique to the person that uses it. So,
right. Yeah. And that's what makes it such a, I guess, unique kind of platform.
Well, so many people have succeeded that because of like all the musicians, because of TikTok, right? Talk. That's all over Runaway to Mars.
Okay.
That song that's been on Sonic and everything, that started on TikTok. And like, oh yeah, he was promoting it on videos and things like that he was doing. It was really good. And because of TikTok, now he's all over the radio and stuff. Or Jax, who did Victoria's Secret a little while ago. Like, I know Victoria's Secret.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that song, that started on TikTok too. And
really?
It became a huge viral trend. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And like the video she filmed and put on TikTok was them doing a flash dance mob in front of a Victoria's Secret. And it was brilliantly done. And I actually talked about this in my courses in assignments at school, because Victoria's Secret answer to that was nothing.
Yeah.
Like they were just like hands off, like, oh, this is some internet trend. And now I'm pretty sure they're feeling the difference in their sales now, because it exposed all their advertising and what they traditionally do.
And they're not the only ones.
No, of course not.
Yeah,
of course
but
not.
like it's funny enough that they brought, because like I heard that going to one of my sites in the winter, I was listening to the radio and I heard that song and I was like, God, it's an annoying kind of like poppy song,
right?
But it's like
it's such a good meaning.
Yeah.
And it's funny because you can see companies where they handle it properly. Like there's a video going around the internet right now. Harley sent this to me yesterday on TikTok. Harley's my fiance, for those who don't know. Hi, camera that I forgot was over there. So General Electric, it's an old ad playing from like the 50s, and it's like, for your housewife at home to get the best results, make sure she's using General Electric appliances like a vacuum cleaner and stuff. Obviously that ad is way up to date because it's from the 60s. So they ran with that and said times change. So now over 50% of women are the breadwinners of their homes. So maybe it's time for we launch big boy General Electric tools. And it's like it's Jason Momoa in the ad, and he's like, yeah, when you need tools and you need to do vacuuming, you get a ride on vacuum. And it shows him going around the living room and stuff like that. But like that's a good way to capitalize on how times have changed and to get ahead of the curve before someone starts going through your shit.
Totally.
And bringing it to light for everyone to see, right?
I mean, now they have a lot of those, like, what is it, Zumbas? So nobody in the house really has to clean.
I know, I have one.
I get the idea. Do you?
Yeah, we have one. We have a Bissell one that goes around every day. Well, we have 6 cats. It has to. Like, without that, true. Like, I can't even, oh my God.
Yeah, and I'm thinking about your house. I'm like, yeah, you have a lot of carpet, as where, like, a lot of places that are newer, it's just, like, a lot of vinyl flooring.
Well, it's pretty much all vinyl in most of upstairs. Yeah, we ripped out the carpet in the hallway. Dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you haven't been over to my house in a while. Yeah, it's been a minute. So you'll have to come over soon.
But the basement's still all carpet.
Yeah, the basement's still all carpet. We're eventually we'll once our roommate moves on and stuff like that, then once we're a little more established, we're gonna renovate the shit out of that basement.
Nice.
I can't wait.
Nice.
Harley will be doing hair out of that. We'll have a jam space out of that. I'm gonna install a bar.
Nice.
It's gonna be great.
Definitely be coming by.
Oh yeah. It's gonna be a great party place. I can't wait.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's good, man. Okay, so studio thing didn't work out. You got your networking and kind of like social media stuff that you're doing. You have a little bit of a band you have on the go now too. I know you've taken a little bit of a side course, but you mentioned it a little bit earlier. Zerchronica?
Yeah, Zerchronica. Yeah. So I started this in the dying days of Castles. Like, well, we didn't know our last show was going to be our last show.
Totally.
But like I was so into music, I was like, yeah, let's get another band going. And my fiance and I started one, and we wanted to have a different drummer on every track. And so far we've done that, but we've only had 2 songs because with COVID and with our lives, and like she started going to MC College for hair, I started doing university. We had so much going on with life and everything, so we had to backpedal some things. But after my wedding this August, now that that's finally done, because we had to push back the wedding too, because we got engaged in January of 2020.
Yeah.
So that. Yeah, we were supposed to be married by now, but life had other plans.
Well, was the wedding supposed to be last year? Is that?
We were gonna go for 2021. Was the original was originally gonna be the wedding date, but no, it got pushed back to. Yeah, it's this August, but after that, I can't wait. We've already got a little tour planned out for next year.
Nice.
As well, so I'm excited about that with a couple guys I'm working with. One of them's a producer that you met. When because you were on played drums for one of our Zerchronica songs.
Yes, yeah.
And you met producer Brian. He's a really good guy.
Yes.
He's got his own project on the go right now too. He's doing a concept album that's very Pink Floyd inspired. Ooh. I got a sneak peek of it. Yeah, so it was really cool. So if he starts doing live shows, then we can see where it goes from there, and I can play some bass with him and stuff. It'll be really good.
Cool.
So yeah, they've got everyone lined up right now for just the recording part, and then when he's done that, we'll start working on that together too, so that'll be really good. Yeah,
dude. And so a tour, is that like a Canada thing you're
so
looking at
I want to do like a small, like just a Southern Alberta into BC one.
Okay.
Because like you've talked about this in previous episodes, the amount of venues that just aren't around anymore, and like it sucks. Like so many venues have had to close, like Moonshiners and Industry House and like so many other ones, and they were really great venues, and it sucks. But there are venues in smaller towns, right? So I remember I drove through Crow's Nest Pass and coming up the Rockies through like Black Diamond and things like that. And you go through like 2 or 3 towns, and all the bars have open mic night signs, or we do live music, we do this and everything. So all these small town bars, they love it. And you know this too. They love having people come out and play.
Right.
So I want to do a small run of like go down, stay in like Crow's Nest Mountain Resort, stay in a cabin there, and then one night go play Black Diamond, one night playing Crow's Nest Pass, one night go out to BC playing Revelstoke, one night, and then you're in the same place every night, but you're going out to all these other places. So,
yeah.
And with the 2 guys I'm working with right now, helping their marketing, I feel like that's a really good spot for them because they have more of that Southern Alberta rock sound. A little bit more country, a little bit more rock.
Interesting.
So it'd be a good venue good venues down in Southern Alberta for them. So
totally,
it'd be a good marketing opportunity for them and for me to prove I can do what I can do.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
So, yeah.
Well, we've already gone to BC together, so we know that you can handle that.
Oh, that was so much fun, man.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah, Castles was a vibe for sure, dude.
I
still, as we were talking before the podcast, like reflecting on all those good times, you know.
Yeah.
Like, all those shows, all the songs that, you know, that was the one kind of regret too that I had was not recording Broken Picture Frames.
Yeah. No, that was such a good tune, man.
So good.
Yeah, that was a good one too. And I remember I think we have on the video footage from a show we played at Vern's in Calgary. That was like, I think that was the first night we performed it.
Okay,
and you can see me like looking at Josh for cues.
Yeah.
You're like, what? We've only been working on this for like 2 days. Well, we got it and it worked and the crowd loved it.
100%, man. 100%. No, that was, that's actually kind of something I wanted to jump into a little bit is like, people cannot sleep on Kijiji because that's a Kijiji ad thing, wasn't it? That we as Castles found you.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I responded to a Kijiji ad because if you go into my Instagram, Kane Ledger Presents, I started that as this is me being a professional musician. So I started with concert footage with me just doing like an open mic night, pictures I took at shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then my entire music career going forward. And I wanted to do something solo and I couldn't record right sound because I'm not a singer. I know that now, but I was trying. I tried.
Yeah.
I'm not you. I have heard what happens when you pick up a microphone, motherfucker. You're phenomenal. But you
too kind.
You're a good screamer. But yeah, so I was working on it that way, and then it just turned into, I couldn't get it right, so I was like, hey, I'll just whore myself out to whatever band needs. And yeah, I saw the Kijiji ad for Castle. I was like, sure, let's do it. It's a punk band. Why not? Let's go. And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
'Cause, oh my God, it was fun.
Dude.
And just the underground punk scene, like in Edmonton too, is just, it's so awesome. I'm wearing a different punk band shirt right now, Travolta.
There you go.
They're a great punk band. If you haven't seen them, absolutely go check them out. They're really
100%.
good.
Was that like a show you seen on White Ave or something?
I've seen them twice. So I've seen them at Tavern, White Ave, and I saw them perform at Temple as well.
Okay,
they
sick.
headlined a show there, and that was phenomenal. But their stage presence is just, it's so on point.
Right.
Like, it's so good. The lead singer, he's just bouncing around all the time and everything. It's good. It's really dope.
Hell yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I love that you still support the local scene so much.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
Very important.
Well, it's been really good for me too. Like, it's worked both ways, all right? Like, I've had a lot of opportunities in my life I wouldn't have had if I wasn't part of the music scene, right? Like, you introduced us to Pam from Boneyard, and then Harley and I got to be in Boneyard's music video.
Yeah.
So, like, things like that. Or Bellevue, we played our first show with them in Chief State.
Yep.
And because we went down to Calgary and played that show in Vern's, Shane was the promoter for that show, so I got to talk to him then. Bellevue came up and sang at my engagement.
Yeah.
They did a little acoustic thing at the McDonald Hotel.
Right.
So, like, in the restaurant, that was really cool. So there's been so many like great things I've been able to make happen because of being in this industry. I wouldn't change it for anything.
Yeah, I that's one thing I admire about you actually is how socially interactive you can be at shows, and I think you've really utilized that well. Like,
thanks. You're making me blush.
yeah, it's all good, man. I think moving forward with what you're trying to do, I'll probably see you at more shows.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. Like, we've had to backpedal because of the wedding, because of everything else coming up. But like, once that's over, the floodgates are open. Bring it on. I want to be seeing a show or performing at least once every 2 weeks, at least bare minimum. So it's just not going to stop.
So
I can't wait.
How is that going to work with Sir Chronic? Are you just going to hire a drummer? Like, I assume that's what you meant by your producer. He would play the drums for you, or are you thinking?
So the producer Brian, he's actually done guitar work for us.
Okay.
On he's a phenomenal guitarist too. So he's done some like solo work and things like that and stuff. But I've gotten to know quite a few drummers now, like yourself and like several others. So I want to have them on different tracks. And then it'll be when we go on tour, when we play shows, it's like, okay, so who has the time right now that can practice with us and play with us, like get ready for a show and then we'll play it. And then if you're too busy after, great. If not, you can keep playing with us. So
nice. That's cool, man.
Yeah, it'll be really good. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things that was like mentioned to me was like, hey man, if you want to be doing some touring this summer or whatever, you can. And I was like, hey guys, like I actually kind of want, like, between the podcast and yourself, I kind of want to like front a hardcore band.
I would be so down, man. I miss like playing with you and like hearing you on the drums and stuff. Like the few With Conviction shows like I've caught like since the end, it's just been like, when I hear you on the drum kit, because there's certain things like that you do specifically that I don't know if you do this, that you have signature things.
Okay.
One of them that you do, it's you did it in Valkyries and Angels and Zerchronica.
Okay.
You did it in Drink Myself Distant.
Okay.
And it's I've heard you do it in some With Conviction songs too. It's drumming on the snare. You have a certain pattern that you do that's like a build up, but you've done it in a few songs, and I really like that. But like it's your signature thing.
That's cool.
It's nice.
Yeah, I definitely do not think about that. if it's just coming like naturally to me, I guess it's maybe one of those things. One of the things I thought of when we were writing Drink Myself Distant was like I wanted to kind of go like more, because that song's like one of those heavier songs for us. Yeah, it is. So I was like, I'm gonna incorporate some like double kicks, because like the rest of our stuff, like aside from like a triplet in Winter Hurts, is that the song? I think I should know this. It's Winter Hurts, right?
Yeah, our second single. Yes.
Yeah. I know, man. Some of those songs like Bleeding Out, like I don't really listen to anymore.
That's fair. They will never come down. I've moved over. TuneCore really screwed me over on my Zerchronica release, so I just switched to DistroKid.
Okay.
And as a result, I'm like, I can pay for two bands. Okay, so I moved all the Castle stuff.
How was that
too.
transfer, by the way?
It was okay. We didn't lose any of the streams because of how did it work? Because it was through Spotify for artists. So because I was linked in both of those, then you can link it over and you copy the same links and everything like that. So it went over okay. But it's one of those like you'll never make back what I pay to keep that stuff. Of course, and that's fine. But honestly, I'm still it was so much fun. Like I never want that stuff to come down.
Totally. But do you find that who it is you're with now? DistroKid.
DistroKid.
Is it Kid or Kit?
I think it's Kid.
Okay,
pretty sure it's Kid. DistroKid, yeah.
I have, With Conviction, use a CD Baby, so like, TuneCore, I remember using for the longest time.
Yeah, and it was great, but like I set up like so for Zerchronica's first release was See Through the Dark. I went in and I was like, okay, great, this is gonna be good. I uploaded it a month ahead of time. It has more than enough time to get on everything. Everything's fine. Morning of the release finally comes by. And it's not on anything except for Spotify, and the information is wrong and missing. Ooh. I was like, what? So I woke up to a whole bunch of messages from friends being like, yo, it's not on iTunes. Yo, I can't find it, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, what the fuck? So I messaged them, and it took them like almost 7 business days just to get back to me.
Really?
And I was like spamming like, yo, what's going on? You guys distribute 40% of the world's music. Like, what's going on here? Yeah. And by the time they finally got back to me, I'd already ported everything over. And I was like, no, I'm done.
Nice.
No.
And do you find that Distro's been really good to you since?
They've been really good to me.
Okay.
So like I haven't had any problems at all. It's been really good.
Nice.
So I like the format of TuneCore, how you could see what streams were generating money and income really well. Yeah, they did that presentation of their website and their member services really well.
Okay,
where I find DistroKid's kind of lacking in that a little bit, but they're getting better. So
because that was one of those things. Like I heard so many good things about DistroKid, but like I mean I tried to kind of convince Savian to switch over to them because they're really good at what it was at the time, like 2 or 3 years ago, that they were popping off for like playlisting.
Yeah,
and they were like the one. Their promotion was like, oh, you hop on here, you can like do the pre-save a lot easier, and then CD Baby was coming out with it, and all this stuff. They have each of them have their pros and cons. Yeah, they do. Right.
Like, so for those listening that don't know, CD Babies basically it's a one-time fee and it never comes down. DistroKid, you pay a yearly fee and you can upload as much as you want with that fee. And TuneCore, it used to be you pay $12 a single per year or $60 for an album or something like that per year, and now they've gone to the member service that DistroKid does as well.
Okay.
So there's pros and cons with every service, right? But
before you switched though, did they go to the member service?
No, they went after.
Oh, okay.
So I think they realized they were losing a lot of customers to that member service style.
Probably.
Because, like, how much better would it be to release, 10 songs? If you release in a year, you only pay $35 for that. Whereas if you release 10 singles with TuneCore, you're paying like $120 a year, right? So it was just way more cost effective.
And your release through DistroKid, I guess, was, aside from just porting everything over to them. Have you done a release through DistroKid yet? Okay.
Yeah, I did. And Valkyries and Angels.
Okay.
Was the release we did after that, and it went flawlessly.
Okay, nice.
And you actually were really helpful in getting us on playlists too.
Yeah.
Because you introduced me to dailyplaylist.com, and that site's a godsend, man.
Yeah.
Zerchronica, we don't have a lot of listeners, but we have more listeners in the UK than anywhere else. And it's because we got on some Irish. Playlists for some reason. Yeah. Oh yeah. Irish and Scottish indie lists. I don't know how, but we got on those ones, and people are listening to it in some very specific areas of the UK.
That's cool.
So I was like, okay, well, I guess we're gonna have to eventually make the trip across the pond.
There you go.
That's where you're streaming, and that's what I like about when you release digitally. You can see where all your customers are and where your fans are. So you can be like, oh, okay. If you guys had a whole bunch of listeners for With Conviction in Ontario, you probably want to get your ass to Ontario, right? To play your live shows there. So same thing. Eventually we'll have to go to the UK. So look forward to it.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, right.
That's cool.
Start planning out 5 years down the line. Well, that's dangerous in this day and age. But
you're walking in some deep water. But you know what? That's okay, man. I like that you're pre-planning, you look ahead, and you're optimistic about things, because Zerchronica, again, was just one of those things that you just randomly started up right after. Well, not randomly. You guys had the idea to be in a band.
Yeah, you came to an open mic night too.
Yeah.
There was something we wanted to do together, just a little more heavier rock than what Castles is doing, but more of an indie vibe. We were just figuring out our sound and what we wanted to do, and it was a lot of fun. And then we had a festival on the books and 3 shows, I think, and then COVID and all this studio time too.
Right.
But then COVID ended that.
Yeah.
But where we are now wouldn't have happened without COVID, because I wouldn't have met Brian otherwise, because we were going to use Ryan, shout out to High Strung Studios,
nice,
for our music, and he was just swamped when COVID hit, right? Because so many bands were like, let's record everything we can.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm too busy, but I know this guy Brian that I've taken some courses with. So he introduced me to Brian, and now Brian and I have been working together for the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
That's sick.
So, yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. No, that's I think it's interesting to see the evolution of your music career from from where it started.
It's been a wild ride. Just a guy who was going to concerts and posting video or pictures of me with a guitar and stuff to everything that happened. Yeah, it's been a wild ride.
And now that I hang out with you, I see you got a folding phone. So
yeah, I got that new Samsung Flip. It's great. Just don't crack it, because it's $850 for a new screen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, but I want to get into that. That's the only, because the technology's so new.
Yeah.
And there's no protection plan for it, because a rock hits it and one crack in it and the screen's gone.
Right.
So it's not like an iPhone where if it spiders, it'll still work. Yeah. Right. So it is what it is. Yeah. That's okay though. It's a neat phone. I like it. It's got its built-in tripod. Really good camera. So.
No, that's cool. When you flipped it open for me and kind of had it halfway, I was like, this is the first time I've seen that. I haven't seen, I don't think any of my other friends.
And it's solid too. You can move it. You can.
Yeah. That's sick.
Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, 3 guys at work I work with now have it.
Woo. That's cool, man.
Samsung, shout out.
Yeah, there you go.
This is how digital marketing works.
Yeah, well, exactly. Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah, of course,
you got to keep that lubricated or what?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I did see videos of people online before I bought it that were testing it. And one of the things they did was they're like tap, 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 tap. And they showed them using it for they've had this phone for 6 months. And what the tapping's like versus a phone brand new out of the box.
Okay.
So you could see the wear and tear, and it was like almost nothing.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm really looking forward to having this phone for a couple of years.
Nice.
It'll be good.
That's good.
Yeah.
And it's got the 2-camera thing on there too, right?
Yeah, and then it's got like the little cover screen on the front too, so I can see like if I get a text message or something like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, a little screen you can put whatever GIF you want, so music,
that's cool.
weather, like
Sick,
put
man.
widgets on it. Yeah.
Folds up nicely for your pocket too.
Yeah.
Because I feel like pockets are getting smaller.
Right. Oh my god, dude. Okay, so I also do drag on TikTok. Oh my god, women, like I feel so bad for your clothes. Like none of you have pockets at all. I get the excitement when you're like, holy shit, this dress has pockets.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god, it's so frustrating. So frustrating. Like, why would you sew a pocket onto a pant if it's not a real pocket?
Yeah.
Like that's just waste of fabric. Like, oh, so frustrating.
And let's just be real. That's where your real character really comes to light. For anyone that's on TikTok and that, do you want to explain a little bit what you do on there?
So I haven't posted in a while, but like started during COVID and like a little bit before that and stuff. I just started doing drag because like it's fun. It's absolutely hilarious, and I really like it. Like just throwing on a full face paint and everything in my wig, and Harley's put up videos since like me just cooking in the kitchen in drag and stuff like that, and it's lots of fun. It's really good, and I really enjoy it.
That's
but,
awesome.
Like that's part of just the TikTokness, I guess.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's fun. I started doing that, and eventually I do want to start incorporating more music and drag together. Like I'm gonna start using my TikTok to promote music and things like that as part of it, and then like I'll obviously market it for the crowd. Like I'm not gonna go down to Southern Alberta dressed as a drag queen to all these small Alberta towns, but like if it's a city show and absolutely like that, why not show up in drag and play a show? It's gonna be absolutely amazing.
Would you be worried that somebody would do something? Is that why?
Well, you can be, right? But like they may not be as forward thinking as the big city.
Yeah.
I know. I haven't been to small town Alberta in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's one of those like I do know that I went through Red Deer and I had orange hair and I was refused service at a restaurant because of it.
No way.
Yeah.
What did they do?
They just like the server took like my mom and I walked in and I have like bright orange hair and stuff, and this was I think like 5 years ago, and the server took one look at me, shook her head, and walked into the kitchen. We stood there for 5 minutes. And, like, no one came. And we were like, hey, you want to go to Subway next door, Mom? She was like, sure.
Oh, my God.
No, it's fine. It's
That's
all good.
so weird.
Yeah. That's all good. I don't care.
Like, I get the old traditional ways of, like, doing things. So, like, yeah, you'll find a little bit more of that in small town. Well, I grew up in Tofield, as you know. So
I
it's
do.
Like,
you poor bastard.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of pros to it, too. Like, there's, like, a lot of, like, traditional things that you pick up in a town versus a city that like I really embrace. But then there's the negatives of like, for the most part, they're very with being traditional. They're anything new or different, they're kind of against or up in arms about. And whatever, I think if you're gonna have a different view on something and you're gonna be maybe ignorant about it, just keep it to yourself. Like if you don't feel that way, just keep it to yourself. And just like it goes about really anything. Like, why you gotta be an asshole?
Yeah, right? Like, what? Yeah, like, is this the hill you want to die on? Is this what you're choosing to care about? There's way worse problems than me wanting to, like, be in a dress on stage. There's way worse problems in the world than that. And if that's what you're choosing to focus on, like, you got bigger problems.
Yeah, 100%. I guess, when I think about it, it's like the courage it would take to go up and, let's say, if you're going to Southern Alberta and you went to a town like if you
Nobleford.
or Canmore, if you went and played in Canmore.
Yeah.
They might be a little more open there.
Yeah, they're more touristy, but like Nobleford?
Yeah, I haven't even heard of that place. Is that a town?
It's like half hour out of Lethbridge.
Okay, yeah. So good example. If you went there and you went to a little bar or whatever venue there, and you did, let's say you went as Zerchronica and you went up in a dress.
Yeah, okay.
Like how would that be?
I don't know how that would go.
I would be tempted.
I know how I'd handle certain situations as they came up.
Yeah.
It's like, why?
I don't think some of these people realize the arms on Robbie. Like.
Oh no.
Boom! You're really nice though. I couldn't see you actually hurting anybody. But
I used to love brawling, man. I studied martial arts for 25 years.
Right? Yeah.
I'm former Army Reserve, government security, like all of it.
Totally.
Yeah, it's.
Are you trained in Muay Thai? What do you know?
Karate, jiu-jitsu, taekwondo, judo is the one I took the longest. I would love to get back into that, but that's got to be after the wedding thing and stuff. And I've taught self-defense to friends before.
Nice.
So,
man, I might need to learn a thing or two
Yeah,
from
anytime.
you. Dude, I love jiu-jitsu. Like,
it's
do you
so
watch
good.
UFC at all?
I used to.
Okay.
I used to really be into it. And at one point, I did want to be a professional fighter. Before I settled in on music, fighting was going to be what I was going to come into. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah, but yeah, I suppose you didn't know that. But then, yeah, because I studied martial arts for so long, and it's like I see all these guys, I'm like, okay, like I want to help, I want to do something. Like I see the techniques they're using, I'm like, oh, I might be able to handle that a little differently. So like I really wanted to do it, and I was sparring all the time. It was really fun, and then I realized I'm 5'9.5", and if I'm under 200 pounds, I feel gross and sick. Like I'm 230.
I see.
And,
Okay.
like, I'm a stocky build, right?
Right.
And I met George St. Pierre at an autograph signing.
Okay.
We're the same height, but he fights at like 175, I think.
Right.
And I'm like, there is no way I could cut weight to get down to that,
Right.
and feel not gross and disgusting with myself.
I see. Yeah,
so
yeah.
there's no way. So I was like, there's no way I'd be able to cut weight. It was great for the weight loss at the time and everything. Like it really helped out. But I was like, no, I'm not gonna.
Would you be worried about fighting bigger guys?
No,
Is that
not at all.
Oh, okay.
So in judo, it's like mixed martial arts where everything's done by weight class. So my mom's got pictures of me in tournaments as a kid and a teenager, and I am half the size, like height wise, of other guys. Like I was fighting guys that were like 6'4", tall and lanky, and I'm like short and stocky and stuff.
Yeah.
But we're the same weight. So like I just get manhandled half the time, right? So
I see.
It was just
Yeah, one of those things.
yeah, right. So,
But like, hey man, that's cool. I did not know that about. Like, I knew that you knew the combat thing because I knew you were in the army and that. But wow, man.
yeah, it was a short career. It was I'm almost 38. I've been around the block a lot. That's all.
Dude, straight
Yeah.
up. That is so cool. I mean, so would you say that the biggest deterrent was the weight cutting for you? Like,
Yeah.
you were like, how can I do that?
Absolutely, it was the weight cutting, and then it was just one of those like I was looking at like the long term, and I did a lot of research into professional fighting and stuff like that. And once you start professional fighting, you have a 9-year window on your career.
Oh yeah.
And then that's it. You
Totally.
won't be. Doesn't matter what age you are when you start. You've got that 9-year window, and
Okay.
then you just can't handle it
I
anymore.
see.
Right?
It is a
So-
lot of wear and tear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My God.
Like you can see how a lot of these guys come out of it, right?
Yeah.
Like when they're on the other side and retiring, and it's just like,
Some of my favorite Nick and Nate Diaz. But they are. But I mean, you look at GSP, that guy's like.
he's still training every day.
Yeah.
Like he pops up on my Instagram feed all the time.
Was he nice?
Oh my God, he was so nice. So the backstory there is there used to be a UFC gym in Sherwood Park before the pandemic and stuff, like
Interesting.
years ago, like a training gym. And UFC was branching out. I don't know if they still do that, but I just think the market's not here for them to expand into that right now.
Right.
But they were doing UFC gym, and GSP was coming through, and I worked at the Costco in Sherwood Park, and we were selling his protein powder, and they got wind, hey, he's coming through. What if we do an autograph signing at the store before he goes and does a training thing at the gym?
Seminar,
and a training seminar, and he was like, yeah, let's do it.
Sick.
And he came in early the day of to meet the staff of Costco first and do an autograph signing with staff, with cops, with everyone that was there to see him. So I got off work at midnight the night before. I was there at 7 a.m. the next day in line, ready to meet him. He got there at 8. I was third in line. Super nice, super friendly. He signed a set of UFC gloves I had. He signed a card that I had that was a poster of his fight with Dan Hardy.
Okay, yeah.
And he signed that, and then he signed another card for a friend of mine that couldn't be there. So it was really dope and stuff, and he was really friendly. And apparently, like when I left right after that, I drove around the building because he tweeted he was going to be there. So the lineup went halfway around the entire building of people just there to meet GSP.
Yeah.
And he stayed until like half an hour later than he was supposed to. He was signing like little kids things, like leaving, like signing, take as many pictures as he could. He was so friendly and so nice.
That's sick.
So
did you get a picture with him?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why. And the first thing people say when they see it, they're like, "Whoa, you guys are the same size." I was like, "I know, it's fucking weird.
Wow,
it's so weird."
Huh?
Like, I don't want to be drunk. Like, I used to be the guy when I was in my like 18, 19, like drunk at a bar. Like, Rob, you should go fight that guy. Like when Brothers was a thing in Sherwood Park, and you could before. Now you get into a bar fight and it's an assault charge.
Yeah, totally.
Back then, it was like, oh, let the fight go. Just boys being stupid boys.
Yeah.
But it's one of those like I don't want to see him in a bar and be like, could I take him? Because he would destroy me. Absolutely. But in my drunken haze, like, hey, we're the same size. No.
Totally.
No.
That's so funny. Yeah. God damn, man. That's cool. Yeah. What year was that you met him? 2018?
Oh, no. It would have been, let's say 2015.
So he was still in the UFC.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe 2016, 2017, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, he'll always be on contract with them for appearances and things like that, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah. Certain appearances. Yeah. I don't know if he'll ever fight again. I know they were talking about doing a charity match between him and Khabib.
Oh, that'd be dope.
Yeah, like a grappling one. Just
yeah,
for charity.
that would be really good to see.
I would love to see that. We'll see if that actually happens.
I would like to see, like, I used to have on DVD the first 5 UFCs ever when it was not like weight classes. It wasn't that. It was just, okay, which style is better, Muay Thai or Judo?
Yeah.
And they just throw guys in the ring. And I remember the Judo world champion was this 6'8" Dutch huge guy, and they're like, you're gonna fight 130-pound flyweight Muay Thai world champion and see what happens. Like, the fight was over in like 30 seconds. Like, because Muay Thai, there's no grappling, and like the guy just grabbed him, threw him on the ground, was like, and it almost knocked him out, just getting slammed into the ground. And he's like, oh yeah, now I gotta knock him out. So he's like elbowing him, and then he was out, and that was it. But I had those fights before, so it was really cool seeing the different styles. I would love to see charity fights outside of weight classes where you have like those guys fighting and stuff like that. I think that'd be really cool.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
That'd be cool to see you do it again.
Yeah.
I get too old.
Yeah, I'm a little sore now than I used to be, but no, I'd be down.
That's sick, man. Yeah. Hell yeah. All right, well, I'm trying to think what else we can touch base on regards to Zerchronica. I know we kind of got off topic there.
Well, you and I always do.
Right? Yeah. Oh my God, we can ramble from this to this to that to this. Yeah. I mean, your networking. I think that's going to be the biggest thing for. Like I said, kind of backpedaling a bit, but going out to those shows and just getting like connects.
Yeah, just
way.
Meeting people and networking. Like, so every show I go to, I always post pictures of every show I go to the next day,
right? And
I always tag the bands that are playing and stuff like that, and I usually get a repost or two too from the photos I post from the bands that are there. They're like, oh, good, cool. You guys played a show with Siren, Rising Sun, Sugar Wash opened it, and I posted, and I got a picture, like, it was Sugar Wash, it was the chorus of their first song, and like these flames went up beside them on the stage, and I got a picture of that.
Oh wow.
And she was like, holy shit, you got a picture with the fire? Yeah, I'm reposting that. I was like, absolutely, go right ahead. So I've always been like networking and doing that. I started doing that when I started my Instagram page, like posting concerts and tag the people, and then you start your networking journey.
Totally. Is that something else you dip your toes into, you think? Maybe like photography and like merchandise?
So, like, I'd want to do, like, obviously Zerchronica merchandise and stuff like that, but I think I'd be more in a capacity to just help other bands promote their product,
right,
and stuff like that. Like, I'd rather be the side guy helping out than being the one front and center.
Gotcha.
Like what you're doing right now. You're doing a great job with Apureevil, and, like, your podcast is doing really good here. I really like your on-air presence. You're almost there to make it perfect.
I appreciate that.
That's one of the things we're here to talk about, is me helping in whatever way my education can provide.
Totally. Well, we were talking about like everything from like YouTube to TikTok, like utilizing what you can.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, like I find somebody shot me a message the other day, and they're like, I really like what you're doing with your content. Your content is getting better. Like it looks like it's better content.
Yeah, you're doing a really good job. And splitting it down into micro content too is the best way. Like, so YouTube is your best stream option for revenue. Because like we don't have the TikTok creators fund like they do in the States. Yeah. So in the States, TikTok is a job, and it can be. Right. But here we don't have that option, right? So you can use it as advertising for your YouTube. And that's what you started doing already with your Instagram Reels, with your Facebook videos. I see you.
Yeah.
You're posting clips of the podcast stuff. That's micro content, and that's perfect. Because then when people want to see the whole show, they'll be like, oh, that was a really funny clip. And then they go to your YouTube page, and then they listen to your YouTube show. And that's where you can make some real money, is once you have 1,000 followers and you cross that threshold, then you can start using it.
Yeah, there was another one on there, though, that I was like very frustrated with. It was like I needed to have the 1,000 subscribers and then something else of like however many hours watching or like viewed of my like reels, like YouTube reels. It was like 4 million views.
So, I only had on 4. YouTube Shorts.
Yeah.
So what you need
4 million hours, and I had 41 hours. It was like a little. I was like,
What?
how the hell? I'll show you after.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like,
Show me after, because like,
my goodness, how the fuck am I supposed to do that?
so basically, what you're doing for how you're posting, you have to look at YouTube Shorts and YouTube as two separate entities. YouTube Shorts is how they're competing with TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram Reels.
Right.
Even though most of them are the same company, it's fucking weird.
Are they bought and paid for the same? Because Google owns YouTube, right?
I think, yeah, Google owns YouTube, Facebook owns Instagram.
Yep.
TikTok's its own thing. Yeah, it's fucked up.
Oh, anyways.
Fuck, where was I going with that?
So you were saying YouTube is you got to treat it as a separate entity.
So it's treated as a separate entity. So when you're posting on Facebook, Instagram Reels, also post to YouTube Shorts your little splice content that you've got in your micro content of the highlight reel of like funny moments and things like that where you're having a good time, something that'll be engaging so that people will want to go see the rest of the video. So it's almost like YouTube Shorts is kind of like the trailer for your YouTube video.
It's a commercial.
But not just using it for your podcast. YouTube Shorts is also where you could post those same drum videos we were talking about before. You could do that, and at every video be like, yo, I've also got merch available at Apureevil, and you'll probably get some more revenue stream that way too.
Totally. It's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
I find that's the hardest thing for me to do is like, well, make the shorts and the videos for my merch, but also making the content for my drum stuff, because I'm just like,
it's a full-time job, right? Like, it's gnarly. It's
Yeah.
absolutely gnarly.
Yeah, I love it, but there's the moments where I'm like, it's another job that makes me a nice little side hustle. From time to time I get busy, and sometimes I have a drought month. And it's just kind of
that's
how
just
it
the way
is.
it goes. Yeah,
But,
absolutely.
I mean, keeping busy with it. I appreciate what you've already said. Like, it's one of those things that like I'm staying steady with, but like for doing it for a year, I'm pretty proud of how far it's come.
You should be, absolutely. You're basically right on point too for how long you've been doing it and everything. You're doing great.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Don't lose heart. You got a good thing going here. So.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be good to see more of that stuff. Again, one of the things that I really try to push for is supporting local.
Yeah,
so,
absolutely.
If I can get your toes dipped into something that's local, that someone could, reach out to you afterwards and be. Yeah, nice little interruption. They're gonna want to see it all, Robbie.
If you want to. There's a camel on that one too.
Oh, there you go. Oh, dude, they're literally painted right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Nice,
Yeah,
okay.
Harley and I got pedicures like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, there you go. You're a funny guy, Robbie.
Oh, so are you. I miss it. It's been really nice listening to your podcast too, because it feels like I get to hang out with you for a little bit, and catch up on things. It's been nice.
Yeah, it's like you get to hear. Yeah, when I first started it, I really wanted to push for just audio. I was like, well,
this is great having the video there, because if you just did audio, how would you splice it up and with micro content?
Totally.
Your only options would be to create a sound using digital media for like a YouTube short or like an Instagram reel, and like take a small sound bite and do a video to that. But doing this, like, this is great because you're right here.
Yeah,
you're ready to go. You've already got the video. So
yeah,
this is the next stage. This is what most people get to when they do a podcast, right? They'll start with a podcast. They'll start just the audio and things, and then they'll go to video in like season 2 or season 3. But like, you starting it already, then that's great. You're
100%.
You're already doing a good job.
Appreciate that. Yeah, I'm trying, man. It's one of those things, again, like, you just take it step by step, and I eventually want to obviously have like a camera where it like kind of like where
it's both people.
Yeah. So,
well, you could have 3 cameras actually, because you could do one looking at me, one looking at you, and then one that looks at both of us from the side.
100%.
Right, and then you're good to go.
It's just a money thing at this point.
Yeah, money's tight.
Yeah, it can be sometimes, for sure, but always thankful for having a roof over my head and great friends in my life. I wouldn't trade any of that for anything. There was actually something I've seen a couple times this week, actually, of this video, and it's different videos of the same message, but it's like, it's saying, okay, like, would you do this for $1 million? Yeah. Okay. What if I told you that you'd get the $1 million, but you wouldn't wake up tomorrow? And they're like, oh, well then no. Yeah, I wouldn't take it. They're like, so your life is worth more than $1 million. So when you wake up, like at least have a smile on your face
No,
that you're
that's
living.
great.
Yeah,
I like that.
I like it a lot too, and I couldn't believe how many times it kept showing up on like the Instagram reels for me. I was like, this is insane. It's a different video of the same message, but it's such an important message, I think, because like, yeah, we're all, like, yeah, our jobs suck. Everyone's job sucks, like everyone. And I'm talking here. Ask the partner I work with right now. She'll tell you like, oh, the days that we got to do bylaws, AJ comes in and he's super moody. And I'm like, yeah, I do not like doing them. But it is nice at the end of the day to have a job that can pay for the things that, we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of wish that life would kind of change the course of how we do things. But I think within time we'll get there.
Yeah.
My biggest thing, man, I really feel that people are working their lives way too much. Like we should have 410s, 3 days off.
Well, that's the thing. Like and in France, it's more of you work to live. Here, it's you live to work.
Yeah.
And it sucks.
Yeah.
Like having to go through that grind like every day just to get to, like not even to the middle, just to be okay. Like in the amount you have to like I can't imagine how it was like 30, 40 years ago when people would have like 4 kids, the mom's at home taking care of them and there's one income. Like there's no way anyone today could do that with that standard. Like unless you're making like $300,000 a year, there's no way you could do that.
Do you like find yourself like wishing that we still had that, or are you okay with how things are now? Like how do you like when you think back on that? Because like there's a meme on it where it's like when your parents were 28, oh, let's have a kid and get a house, and now it's like when you're 28 you're like, I ain't got no teeth. Like I ain't got nothing. Like it's like
I hate the cost. Actually, I hate the cost of how much it's risen and how much it's living, right? Because when I was 30, I was making the same that my dad was when he was 30. The difference is 28 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And what I made at 30 was nowhere near enough to cover everything, but he could cover a mortgage payment, bills, they had a savings, they had everything.
Right.
They could still do it. They had a house, and like there's no way I could have done that at 30.
Right.
Like and pulled off the same thing. So I hate how much the cost of living has risen. And just the cost of everything, right?
I feel like when you're getting like raises from your job or whatever, like it's not the same value. Like you're getting a raise, but everything else seems to be catching up more than that raise. And they've always taught us, like I remember in social class, like that's the structure of life. Like it's when you get like things going up, cost of living, the wage is supposed to kind of keep up with it. It's kind of supposed to be this balance, but
it's not.
No, it's definitely not.
No,
man.
absolutely,
I get a yearly rate. I get a raise once a year at my job, and it's like one of those things that
sucks.
Yeah, it's you gotta like take it with a grain of salt. Like it could be a pretty nice raise at the end of the year, but it's like when you're battling. So if something was to go up right now and my raise, happens later in the year, it's like you're like, oh my god, like gas prices rising right now.
Yeah,
like it went from like $1.19, $1.199 to like now what is it at? $1.44? $1.45. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, doesn't seem like much, but it's like you throw in $20.
It's nothing.
Where it was getting you through the week now, and it's nice to have a car, but like where it was getting you through the week now is like, but back then at that rate, now it's like, okay, you got to fill up like 2 or 3 days before where you were.
Yeah, exactly.
Previously,
right? Like like one of the things I mentally do, I never used to do before. It takes me 25 or 23.5 kilometers worth of gas to get to and from work. It takes 35 kilometers of gas for me to drive Harley to work in the morning, come back. She has to take Edmonton public transit home because I'm at work at that point.
Right.
That's a whole different animal. Oh my God, that's ridiculous.
She's
right
probably
now.
has some stories for you
Every day. She's actually been debating starting a TikTok of so today on the Edmonton LRT.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh my God, dude, it's so bad. Like there's people that smoke crack pipes on the train. She's seen one dead body, 2 people that were overdosing on the stairwell, and bystanders were giving like chest compressions, stuff like that. And those people had like tinfoil and drugs in their hands still as they're just tweaking out. Like it's not a good situation.
That's so sad.
Yeah, right. But like, so I know exactly how much gas I need per week now, and like it sucks because I got a new car in the beginning of last year because I was like, I need something that's more fuel efficient, so I got something more fuel efficient, but then gas prices skyrocketed, so it didn't fucking matter. So even when you're making decisions to change things, it's not helping at all. Like so Harley was getting sick and tired of working retail right during COVID, so she's like, I gotta make a change. So she was like, I'm really good at doing hair, and she went, okay, I'm going to look into going to hair school. And she did. And she absolutely killed it. She graduated 3.5 months early, got into a salon. It was great.
Nice.
And then the industry is just so, like, people that have worked in the industry. It's a gnarly one to be a part of.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And there's so many changes. And it just, you go to school to make these changes, but then you're not working full time when you get out.
Right.
And that's the thing. When our parents went to school, like my parents, my dad was a mechanical engineer, and it was $1,000 a year for him to go to U of A.
Okay.
That's it. You know how much it costs to get a degree now? It's like $100,000 depending on where you're going. Like that's one of those things where the cost of living has not kept up with wages. Cause like if you don't, like it was $17,000 for Harley to go to school for a year. She graduated early. They should have given her some of that money back.
Totally.
But like that's just not how it works, right?
Well, that's one thing that I've heard brought up a couple times is how schooling should be kind of like one of those expenses that maybe in our taxes we cover that, like maybe it's just one of those things that schooling should be covered.
Absolutely, it should be. But on our taxes, like we got screwed over because they went, oh yeah, so you paid this much into school, but you didn't make enough, so we're deferring some of your taxes that you're getting back to next year.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and then we both got reassessed this year. So like I'm gonna sound like a conspiracy theory nut here, but not this most recent benefit, but the last one. Right after they announced they were doing this benefit for people with children and boomers, I got a reassessment from the government of Alberta that were like, hey, there was a benefit you no longer qualify for. You now owe us $722. I was like, what? I live paycheck to paycheck. I can't afford that right now.
Yeah.
Like it's just been a lot of like, there's extra costs. There's like gas is high. Utilities are insane right now.
What was that for, by the way? What did you just say? That was for like
it was like there's a new benefit, not this most recent one that's helping people with kids and boomers with the cost of living. It's giving them like a one-time fee or something. I'm wondering if that reassessment's how they paid for it.
Oh, shit.
Because everyone I know, they were like, yeah, we know you only made $32,000 this year, but you now owe us, even though that's below the poverty line, like you now owe us $700 something.
Yeah, what the fuck is up with that?
Everyone I know in my tax bracket, we all got reassessed and we all owed extra money.
Oh my God, dude. I honestly think my thought is everyone, so for Canada, but it should be a worldwide thing, but like there should be a set rate when you go to a job.
Yes.
That every job, doesn't matter what it is, when you're hired on the spot, there's enough taxes to where people are getting a little bit of something back at the end of the year, and you don't think about it because when you're making that starting rate or whatever it is that you get when you start that job, that's just what it is. So you don't have to up your tax. You could still, that option I still think should be on the table, but there shouldn't be this like you start a job and they're just taking off the taxes that they figure they should take off, and then you go to do your taxes and you owe the government.
Yeah,
what the
right.
Fuck
like I don't get it
that?
either.
We pay taxes every fucking day. Like, why are we having to pay extra on top of it at the end of the year? Because I'm sorry, I ain't no mathematician. Like, I didn't know what I was supposed to end up paying. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It should just be a standard rate so everybody gets like a little bit of something, or at least breaks even, because there shouldn't be this like added stress of like you have all these things you're doing in life that you got to save up for and spend your money on, and like bills to. I'm going to a rant right now.
No, I get. Well, like it's tight right now, right? And like I'd honestly be fine paying the taxes I'm paying if the cost of living was lower.
Yes,
like
I
love socialist countries where they're like, we're going to take 70% of your paycheck, but you don't have to pay for rent, groceries, education, your power, your water. I'm like, go right ahead.
Yeah.
Because it costs more than 70% of my paycheck to pay for all that now.
Do you feel like there's in those countries though that they're splitting up how much they're paying you, like pretty well still?
I don't see. That's the thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
But like you bring up like cost of education, how it should be free. Norway, it is.
Yeah.
Anyone in the world can apply to Norway as a foreign student, and it's a free education.
I don't know if that's the place I checked out or Denmark, so it's one or the other, but they're the ones that work the 4 days a week, 36 hours. So that's 8 hours a day.
Yeah.
So, and then they have the 3 days off. And yeah, they're one of those places that's too. Like everything's covered, but like they pay more in taxes, obviously.
Yeah, they do, but they work to live.
Yes.
Right? They don't live to work.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
It feels different here for sure. And I always felt that like BC was going to be kind of in that direction, but you go to BC, everyone that I know that lives in BC, especially in Vancouver, they're working 2 or 3 jobs to stay afloat. And it's like, do you really have more freedom there than you do here? I mean, maybe no winter.
Like I usually work like like I work an extra day like every other week, or any day where like I'm not super busy on a Saturday, I'll go into work because like I need the money. So I work like 50, 60 hours a week sometimes just to get by. And I'm fortunate I work at a trade shop where there's a lot of work right now. So I can work as much overtime as I want. But if we couldn't, like I would probably have a second job.
Yeah.
Like on top of marketing, on top of everything else.
Isn't that crazy?
Like,
That's so sad.
Just to get by.
I really don't feel that should be the case, man. Like I feel like we are over, or if you want on that like 4-day schedule, if you want to work more, there should be the option.
Yeah, absolutely.
But nobody should be working more than that. Like on a typical, like the way things are, because you think of it now 5 to 2, right? 5 days on, 2 days off. What? Yeah. And that's just to make ends meet. Like, and sometimes, like you said, you go to make a little bit of extra money because you want some extra spending.
Yeah, and the goal too is to retire at 65.
Yeah.
But how many of us are going to pull that off?
I always joke.
I'm almost 40, and I know I'm not. I'm going to be working forever.
Well, that's the thing. I joke with people, like, I mean, with how I want to, like, go at the end of my life, like, you know, I have my own way. But anyways,
AJ has planned it.
Yeah, well, I thought I now my new joke is, I'm gonna be the greeter at Walmart at like 80, and I'm just gonna drop dead.
Oh, dude, no, you'll make more. You'll make more at Costco.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, why? Like I used to work at Costco, right? So people there, they'll get top rate pay, and top rate pay there can be like $28 an hour.
Yeah,
and then they apply to work at the door position the next time a door position pops up.
Oh yeah.
So like if you've seen the same person working at like a Costco doorway and they've been there for like 5 years, because they're making $28 an hour. Like I wouldn't leave that either.
My point is just like I'm gonna drop dead doing like a job. Like I'm gonna be living, like I'm gonna be working and just I'm gonna die
and just go. Yeah,
but that's good to know about Costco.
Yeah. If you're gonna do that, Costco's got better benefits than Walmart.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I the only thing is, dude, I don't know what it is. I have this idea. It's gonna sound like it's a conspiracy too. It's kind of more of a funny one though, poke fun at. But like I feel like Costco's like cult.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, I worked there for 11 years.
Costco card.
To be honest, we just renewed our Costco membership, and because the reason why we renewed it is because we wanted to go see a movie, and I didn't want to pay $60 for Harley and I to go see a movie, right? With pop and chip. It's $32 for the 2-pack at Costco that comes with 2 drinks and a popcorn.
Okay.
So if you buy, and like because I have Cane Legend Presents registered as a business, I have a business membership at Costco.
Right.
So literally, if we see 2 movies a year, the membership has paid for itself.
Nice.
So it's like, and gas is cheaper there too. So there is some cult mentality to it, but there's a reason for it, I guess.
Totally. Do you find that like having that as your business too, that it helps around tax year? Don't mind me asking you that.
Yes, because I can write off certain costs.
Yeah.
And like if I wasn't able to write off those costs, like it'd be so stressful all the time, because then all the bills would be like, well, dude, there's 3 people living in my house. My water bill's $200 a month.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and that's just water, let alone.
I would try and claim
else.
This one. You went on the podcast, so you're
business expense. Yeah, my gas. Yeah. I'll fill up gas and get a receipt on the way home.
There you go.
Yeah, right. Like it's gnarly. But then you got to pay people for taxes, right?
Yeah.
Like to handle it. So everything's a cost.
I get it. I get that there has to be taxes, and I get that there has to be this even flow of money, but it's not. I feel like it's gone away from like helping the middleman. There's not even a middleman now. You're like poor or you're like rich. You know?
There's no
in between.
There is no middle class anymore. It's either you're okay, you can pay your bills and you have a savings, or you don't.
Yeah.
Like that's the way it is.
Totally.
It just sucks.
Yeah, man.
A little hard, but that's okay. We'll get through it. We always do.
There's
always a change. Things will change. It will get better. It has to.
Yeah, totally. Well, and there's this one line in a song that I listen to that's like, oh, you know, now I made $1 million and now I have more problems than you. And it's like, oh shit. Like, even though I want more money and I want to be doing more things, you know, I still think of like, well, you know, it's not too bad having no money because now I don't have things to stress about, but like I do at the same time. But I don't know, it's just weird, like ebb and flow, you know.
No, I totally get it.
The waves of life. But it is what it is, man. Like, you know, when we were in Castles, you know, I remember there was stress. There was stresses with other things other than money, but like
band drama. But every band's got it.
Everyone's got
every
that.
Every band's got it.
And I think one of the funniest things was, I've actually brought it up to Sabian a couple times, but I liked how we dispersed money. It was never a stress. Remember, it was like everybody got a little bit after a show for beer or whatever they wanted to spend it on.
You got a little bit. Yeah. Here's to cover the gas that came here, right?
Yeah.
yeah, we'd look at it and we'd be like, from a business standpoint, like, okay, so we made this much X amount of money. We give X amount of number to the band, and then the rest goes into the band fund to pay for more merch and things like that. Because you got to pay yourself something out of it.
Totally.
And like some members would say, no, put it all back into the band fund. I don't want it. And they're like, that's fine. Yeah. But like, I got to put money into my gas tank to get back and forth, right?
Or I want a beer to enjoy at this show, beer and food, you know?
That's what I really like to like about playing at the Buck too, is like everyone who plays there, you get 2 drink tickets.
Yeah.
And it's great.
That's
right. That
that's
was good.
Nice.
Good times.
Yeah, that's aside from like being one of my favorite venues with us to play at. Yeah. I just like I was saying before the podcast, I love just walking there and going to get food. Or
they have a great vegan menu. It's phenomenal. They got really good stuff there. Yeah, it's great. Absolutely,
it's a sweet spot. Yeah, that one along with Tavern. Tavern's a fun place.
Yeah, Tavern's really fun, and I really love the new stage that Tavern has too. Because like when we played it, it was like this little front stage at the front in the corner.
Yeah,
but now
I mean they still offer that.
Yeah, they still offer that. I'm sure they would in the winter too, right? Like you have to. But the patio they have in the back is so dope, and it's such a good setting. Like the way the building kind of wraps around the patio and stuff like that. They've got all these lights set up and everything. Like I've caught a Travolta show there, and it was really good. Yeah, nice. And I didn't know they renovated it, so we showed up, and I'm just like looking around. I'm like, but there's booths there now. Where's the stage? Totally. And then I see people carrying gear up back, and I like look. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, oh hey, there's lights back there. Let's go see it. Oh shit, there's a huge stage out here. So yeah, it's nice. It's dope. I like that a lot of places they made the switch and the pivot to make all the money they can. Well, you have to, right? But that's a really good pivot to have those outdoor spaces, because like it's just nice to be outside under the stars and the lights and enjoying a good show, drinking a brewski. It's great.
Dude, that show that Castles played there in the Tama Hills. Wow, did I ever have to? That was the first time ever in my life that I had to
do 2 back to back.
Well, yeah.
Oh, that was at Buckingham. Yeah.
That was the first time I ever actually had to think about utilizing my like rocking out. I had to literally like don't empty the gas tank in Tama Hills.
2 sets back to back, like in the middle of your tour. Yeah,
the Castles headline that night they did.
Yeah,
last minute headline.
Yep,
because a band dropped off or whatever. I can't remember.
It's the way shit goes sometimes.
But I had to like I was literally thinking, I was like, okay, I can rock out at this part, but I can't. Like I gotta like focus on other parts and not use all my energy because I still have another set to play. So it's interesting doing that, you know, and it was back to back, but
and we could tell you're tired too. It's funny. I've actually got the full video for one of our songs on that, and we actually introduced ourselves in that song. Okay. And we gave you a hand. We were like, yeah, AJ. I remember Ollie being like, AJ's got to be tired playing 2 sets back to back over there. And it's funny because at the end of that song too, you just kept going on the kit, and like Josh and I, like you could see us kind of look at each other, and like we look back at you because you just kept going. We're like, oh, okay, we'll play this for another riff, sure. And we're like, okay, and then you caught the signals to stop. But that was fun, man.
That is funny.
And I still remember, and it's after, like I mentioned a lot of things after the wedding, the lights you had added such a stage presence because you had these 2 spotlights like of different colored lights set up behind you. They're light rails or whatever. And you had them hooked up to your drum kit and just like going, and it was really cool watching them flash. And I was like, I want those. So shout out to Long McQuaid and their finance program. After our wedding, that's going to be my next purchase. Nice. 2 of these lights that will be at every fucking show.
Nice.
So yeah, it'll be cool. I'll try to see if I can hook them up to my bass or something, or like that'd be dope.
Those little things. It's funny how that adds to your stage. But you go to a show, you see a band play without lighting and a backdrop. It's like, okay, this is cool, you know, this is local, whatever, but you start adding in those little like
those little cool touches of like not professionalism, but like that extra level. Yeah, and it just adds so much production value. Yeah, it's definitely worth it. It's like it's a one-time cost, right? Yeah. Like, so I'm fine with that.
100%. And I mean, it depends on how you're running, because like I'm assuming when you guys go on your little tour, you're probably not going to really do like the whole click track running.
No. It's probably going to be more like an acoustic style tour, you know, like Southern rock country vibes and stuff like that, totally. Right? So like, and that'll be fine. It'll be really good to help get the guys out there and like get them used to playing shows and stuff like that. So
yeah, it'll be fun, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. Like any excuse to go on the road's a good one.
Yeah.
So
I always want to like just like have a little bet or wager on this podcast right now of just like, you should do your damned hardest to like wear a dress in a small town. So like that'd be awesome, man. Like fuck the haters. You know,
Yeah,
do whatever makes you happy.
Well, that's exactly
as long as it doesn't
right?
hurt people.
Yeah, that's that's all I'm about. Like, it's whatever you do that makes you happy. As long as you're not hurting anyone, who the fuck cares?
Yeah, totally.
Right.
Life's too short, and as far as we're aware, you
short.
only have one life, so you may as well live it up.
Yeah. Yeah, I've almost died a few times.
Yeah.
So, like, well, that's one part of the reason. Like, I'm grateful for everything, because like I shouldn't be here with everything that's happened to me before. I absolutely should not be here. So I'm very thankful for still being alive and being able to do this and to play shows and to come on podcasts and to meet amazing people and things like that. And I'm grateful for everything in my life.
That's good, man. Hell yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
We love having them, right?
Hey. I still remember the cameras here.
Have you been forgetting? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
That's
yeah.
good.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Well, like I honestly, I kind of forget the mics are here too.
That's so funny.
Just talking back and forth and hanging out.
Casual conversation.
Yeah, I really like it.
That's good, man. Yeah, I was looking forward to having you on. I didn't know. It's funny with most of my guests. Like, I just don't really. It is planned in a way, but it's also kind of like last minute planning.
Well, there's no script in front of you. Like, we've been hanging out for like a couple hours before we started this, so we had like a ballpark of what we were going to talk about.
Totally.
But yeah, there's no script in front of you or anything. There's no roadmap here.
And that's kind of what I wanted to keep. Like, obviously, there's general rules of like what I want to be asking you and like kind of go off about. Like, you've kind of already popped into it about like what you're going to be doing, Zerchronica.
Oh yeah. My goals for 2023.
Well, that. It's funny you say that. We should dive into that because I haven't asked you that yet.
Well, and you ask every show. Yeah. So my goals for 2023. My main goal is get fucking married.
Yeah.
And go on my honeymoon.
Yeah,
that's my goal.
Seal the deal. Get it done.
Finally. But once that's done, we're both really excited. Harley and I are really pumped to get back into music and everything. And like I've got so many riffs. We've got songs written, ready to go.
That's good.
As soon as the wedding's done, then we can put more time and effort into studio time. I've got a really good release strategy set up. We're just excited. I can't wait to start playing shows again. I can't wait to get in the studio again.
Nice.
And we've got some studio stuff that we haven't used yet. There's a couple, so I'm gonna need another drummer soon.
There you go. Yeah.
But that's an after the wedding thing. But like anytime anyone needs me for anything, like you want me to play bass on a track, great. You want me to play a few shows with you, great. Just after my wedding.
Yeah.
But once that's done, then everything's ready to go. So we got the tour planned for 2024. And something else I want to do too, if anyone listening has been fortunate enough to see a show at Rec Room at South Edmonton Common, they have an amazing stage there. It's great. There's a huge TV screen.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple shows there now, and it's really cool. But that space to rent, I think last year it was only $500 to rent it for a day. Nice. And you get it for the whole day. I'm like, there's a lot you could do with that space. You could film videos. You could like put on shows. There's lots you could do. So
So you're wanting to utilize that.
Yeah, I want to utilize that space too. And then we'll get other bands involved and everything too. And it's going to be great.
Hell yeah,
film a little music video as well.
Cool.
So, yeah.
And then your goals for networking obviously is just going to be...
Yeah, just network and like anyone that needs any help at all. My socials are Kane Legend with a K. Kane Legend Presents. If you want to see me in drag, being an idiot, it's Robin Graves.
Okay.
Graves is in like Tombstone. So Robin Graves. For the drag name, and
that's awesome.
So you can see me on all of that.
Do you separate that content on your TikTok, or do you?
So I have two separate strategies for it. So Instagram is basically everything music. So any concert I go to, I will post about it. Anything I'm doing with that, like I'll be posting about doing the podcast and stuff like that. Like anything we're doing, that's what I'm doing with it. But TikTok is fun for me. So it's not just like it's me in drag, but it's me in drag singing. It's me in drag with my cats, just answering stupid questions, doing trends. Like that's one of the biggest things too with digital media is you have to stay on some trends. And you like at least one a week, you have to do like a trending video. So when you can incorporate that into anything you do as part of your passion, that's great. Like using sounds and stuff like that. And then that'll help boost your numbers as well.
Totally. Interesting.
So, we'll be doing a lot of that.
Nice. See all these little things you learned in school.
Yeah, right. Yeah. No, it's been a wild ride, so it's good.
Nice.
It's been good.
That's awesome, man. And yeah, that's cool that you have the separation between the two because like I know you like your business side of things, but you also, like you said, like your fun. So
yeah. And TikTok is it's there for, like I'm gonna promote my music on it. Obviously, I have to. Yeah. Like it's TikTok, it's part of it. But no, it's fun. It's just for fun.
Can you have stories on TikTok? Like
you can. Yep.
Okay, so stories and then reels.
Yeah, it's like videos.
Okay,
and stuff. And then there's You have your drafts, obviously, so I've got lots of pre-filmed stuff and everything like that.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, it's really good. So like, there's content you're sitting on and stuff. And
yeah, so Instagram is so similar. It's just
everything is basically, it's almost a verbatim copy with Facebook and Instagram and YouTube Shorts. It's almost a verbatim copy of TikTok. The main difference, and for me, this is one of the whole differences. Well, other than TikTok has a way broader audience. Because you and I were talking about this before we started filming. Television is actually having to compete with micro content now.
Right.
Because people are spending 4 hours in their phone watching TikTok, Instagram Reels, or YouTube Shorts instead of watching television.
Right.
So, like, it's interesting that micro content has taken over such our lives in such an aspect, right?
Yeah, totally.
I remember where I was going with that.
Well, I was at Black Bar last night, and I was like, oh, just a curious question, like, are you able to show the fights? Like, because, you know, there was a boxing match on last night. I was really curious to see how that was going to turn out. And the guy was like, oh, don't have cable here. I'm like, oh, that's all good. Because what he shows is a lot of, like, kind of like the old time movies. Like,
nice.
They have, like, a name. I'm going to butcher it. But, like theatrical movies. Like, okay. But, like a slasher kind of film. He throws on a lot of movies kind of like that.
Old school. Yeah.
Yeah, so, like, it's cool. I like looking up at the TV and see what he's got playing on, like, going on. But yeah, I was like, oh, is there any chance that you could have like the boxing fight on? You know? And he's like, yeah, no cable. I'm like, all good. But that's cool. Like, a lot of places are going to be turning away from cable.
Well, I don't have cable.
Yeah,
like, I stream everything. Like, exactly. You don't either. It's net. As long as you have Netflix, Amazon Prime, like, you're set. You don't need it anymore.
Totally. Even those freaking things piss me off, though, because it's like you just see the TV shows you like to watch that you went back to watch because Netflix had it at one point,
and then it's gone. Yeah, things change. Well, it's like HBO Max too. Like, you have Big Bang Theory, except the final season. Like, what the fuck are you doing? What? It's so dissatisfying. You get to the end and you're not there yet because they don't have it.
And
like things like that. But it's funny you bring up like. With TV channels and everything, because people went to Congress to complain about Netflix and streaming services like the TV networks. Like, this is taking too much away from us.
Right.
And that reminds me of the candlestick makers who also went to U.S. Congress to bitch about Edison and his light bulb.
Oh,
so it's just a change in technology. Times change. It moves a lot faster now than it used to, for sure. But yeah, you got to keep up with that flow.
Yeah. Oh, gotta love it.
Yeah, right.
Anyways, Robbie, we are at that time.
Oh, shit, really?
Yeah, it's been over an hour.
Whoa, okay. Damn, that was fast.
We get carried away, you
and I. Right, yeah.
That's all good. So you've already kind of said a little bit of your socials, but is there anything else you want to kind of tell the audience?
If you need any help with digital marketing, let me know. That's what my main focus is right now. After my wedding, if you're looking for some bass playing or anything like that, I love to do that too. I've got a 5-string fretless at home that's just itching to be used. So just reach out. Let me know what you need. Kane Ledger Presents on Instagram, or Robin Graves on TikTok. And yeah, I've got Kane Ledger Presents is on YouTube as well. Warning, there are some videos on there from about 12 years ago. When I tried doing a YouTube thing that long ago,
right.
I had like 60 videos. I deleted most of them. The funniest ones are still on there, but I look a hell of a lot different in those videos than I do now.
There you go.
But that's where I release like a lot of lyric videos and stuff too as well. So,
cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, there you go. You have it. Robbie, thank you so much for joining an hour at the house.
Woo!
Awesome having you on.
This is dope.
And until next time, man.
Fuck yeah.
Have some good times, I'm sure.
Hell yeah, absolutely.
We're nuts to the road.
Woo!
Thanks for checking in and tuning in. Can't even talk.